Aloha! Back once again with the DauT versus Chris Best of 21 series, and today we're on a bit of a different map. Both these players are actually playing as Mayans, so it's a same matchup, even same matchup with the civilizations, but we're on the Ghost Lake map. Now the Ghost Lake map is quite interesting because, as you can see, there's a hell of a lot of ice in the middle with a few patches of water. They're not really going to be useful to anyone as they only have a few fish in them anyway. But all this ice in the middle is actually quite interesting because you can't actually build on ice in the game. So units can cross it, but you can't build on it. So that makes it really hard to block off your base as such. Like as you can imagine here, where Chris's town centre is very close to the edge of the ice, and it means that he's going to struggle to wall off and create a blockade. So we could see more open gameplay, but I'm sure they will try and do some kind of wall off anyway. And yeah, typical start as usual with these two players. And I was going to say something. Oh yeah, that's right. I've not long got up. Dedication there. I've not had breakfast yet. And as a student, I don't really eat the best of foods because obviously I've got to cook for myself, and that's quite laborious sometimes. And I've not been shopping for a while, so I've actually had to stick a ready meal in. I've got a fish pie for breakfast when that cooks, and that's in the oven while I'm recording this. So that's always fun. Luring another ball there for DauT, or even his first ball, and things are just getting underway as usual. La di da di da. And yeah, I was going to talk about something else as well, which I've totally forgot about. I've just started this commentary, completely forgetting about everything that I was going to talk about. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was going to talk about maybe a little life tip. I don't know how serious you could take this, but um, getting to know people and taking the time and effort to get to know as many people as you possibly can. To me, that's given me so many useful things in my life, and I'm sure it can for you as well. If you take the time to get to know your peers and take the time and effort to really get to know as many people as you can with whatever it is you want to get to know them about. So, for instance, I'll give you a few examples. um, I know a guy who works at a bar, and when we go out as a group with me and my flatmates, it's always good to know him because he gives us free drinks and gets us discounts, and sometimes we even get free VIP to the club. And so, obviously, knowing him is very useful. And I can apply that to other things as well within the Age of Empires community. And I've got to say a massive thank you to so many people in the community for helping me out along the way and really being there and giving me help, support, advice. Even people like Donny, who's given me help with advertisements on Voobly and things like that. So the saying "it's not what you know, it's who you know" is really actually holds true. Um, a lot in life is what not what you know, sorry, it is what you know a lot of it in life, but also who you know can give you a massive advantage with so many things, and getting to know those people around you who could help you out in the long run is always a good decision to make. Now I watched this game yesterday and I can't actually remember who won, but I remember it was quite a good game. I know overall so far it's 3-2 to DauT, and this is the sixth game in the best of 21 series. Chris just trying to kill off this villager from DauT there. I don't think he's going to be able to manage it before he gets close to the town centre. No, he's having to run away. And a malicious skirmish in the middle. DauT, wow. DauT doing a good job there, taking out a couple of villagers. Another one dying off there as well. And I've just noticed that Chris is actually into the feudal age way before DauT here. Chris is way ahead actually in this stage. He's into the feudal age. He didn't really build any militia, so unfortunately he did lose a couple of villagers, but he's also managed to take out all of DauT's militia. Also going up with an archery range right there, so trying to put the pressure on early before DauT gets to the feudal age. DauT coming up quickly with a palisade wall. And yeah, while we're on the topic of palisade walls, Age of Empires Forgotten Empires, I'm sure you've heard of the expansion by now, and if not, then there will be content on it soon. Building walls has been nerfed in the expansion pack, which means that walls take longer to build because you know there's so many times when players just use cheap walls to keep their opponents out, and they keep building them and building them and building them to stop their opponents getting in. That's fair enough, but walls take longer to build in the new expansion. And also you get a palisade gate as well, which is quite cheap. Well, it's cheaper to build than a stone gate, and it can be built earlier than a stone gate, obviously. And it's obviously useful because obviously you can't put gates on palisade walls at the moment. So when the Age of Empires Forgotten Empires expansion comes out, you'll be able to enjoy that, palisade gates and the like. So here we go, Chris with a watchtower here. And that's going to allow him to apply some covering fire over these archery ranges, and it's going to mean his archers have got some extra backup. Now DauT obviously making skirmishers here, that's obviously the best choice to make if your opponent's going mainly archers. Obviously skirmishers don't cost as much gold, and they are, well, they do have an advantage against archers. This watchtower though is providing a lot of cover for this watchtower being built, and there's 2 watchtowers towards DauT's base now, and there's a third going up as well. So let me just see what Chris is doing here. That's right, he's got 4 villagers, or 3 now, gathering stone. So that obviously indicates he's trying to trush here, and DauT getting his own watchtower up to protect his gold here. That's really vital that he doesn't lose gold collectors, as that's going to really hinder him if he doesn't manage to collect enough gold. And 3 watchtowers going up for Chris. So Chris is definitely trying to do some kind of trush strategy here. I don't know how effective it is at the moment, unless he can get a couple more towers up, say here and maybe here, or even around the other side of this gold camp. I don't know if it's going to be that effective for him. Let's see what he's actually got garrisoned inside. He's got archers, villagers in there, archers in there, and just the normal tower in there. Easy to garrison more units in though. This one almost going down because DauT is firing upon it with all of his villagers. And now we can see just how effective villagers are at actually taking out buildings. That's 6 villagers there, taking out that watchtower. In a matter of seconds that's gone down, and Chris is left with just 1 watchtower again. And that is being picked away at very quickly. The archers inside there just coming out to try and kill off those villagers. More reinforcements coming up, but you've got to remember, skirmishers do overpower archers, and DauT has completely pushed Chris back. And what a great move by DauT there, using his villagers to take out the watchtowers. Now if he let Chris get another watchtower up, DauT could have been in a really bad situation there, especially if he was harassing his gold, as that would mean that DauT would have to go find more gold, which is fair enough down here, but it would have really slowed him down, and obviously we know how important gold is to any game. So now Chris has been completely repelled away from Vipers, not the Vipers, what I meant about DauT's base. He's now walling off with a stone wall, and this doesn't look good, because when you've got a stone wall going up, that means you're obviously going to be playing very defensively, and Chris is now going to have to get on the defensive for sure, because DauT is obviously gaining a lead. He's not lost half as many men, which means he's not thrown away half as many resources. His score lead is getting slightly ahead, and obviously his economy is going to be in better shape because he's not been collecting stone to build those towers. As you can see, Chris completely neglecting stone now for other resources, and it doesn't look like he's got that much resources inside this little wall off that he's doing actually. He's got another gold pile and another stone mine, as well as his main gold. But it seems like Chris has very few villagers at this stage in the game. Actually, let's have a look. He's got 20, 30... What's that? I can't even count. He's got about 37 villagers, and DauT has 20, 30. Yeah, DauT has got about 45. So Chris is a little bit far behind with his economy. Obviously, he's not been collecting so much food during this whole time, and now he needs to start collecting food again in order to advance to the Castle Age. DauT isn't quite on his way to the Castle Age yet, and Chris is still trying to get some archers into DauT's base to try and kill off some villagers or whatever, and he's not being very successful there, being caught against this little wall off and being picked away slowly at. Chris though with another watchtower here, which has obviously forced DauT's wood collectors away from this area, which is fair enough. That's a good move to make by Chris, and he's just going to wall that in with houses to prevent DauT from taking it out early on. So a little bit of disruption to DauT's wood camp, but nothing major. He's been able to move fairly quickly to a new location, and that's not really hindered him at all. DauT on his way to the Castle Age, and Chris on his way as well. The only thing at the moment is that Chris hasn't really got any army, so to speak. He's got a couple of skirmishers down here, and DauT has got quite a lot of archers right there. A lot of archers and skirmishers down here, and Chris has walled himself into his base. So Chris is completely walled in, and I don't know if he's going to be able to break out of these walls without the fear or worry of a huge army from DauT pressing down on him. So as we can see, DauT just about to advance to the Castle Age. Chris actually got there first, which is interesting. A new town centre going up for him. And if he gets this town centre up, then obviously he's going to be in a nicer position. He can pump out some more villagers onto this gold camp and kind of fend off for the while these archers until they upgrade it to crossbowmen anyway. And, oh right, so there we go, crossbowmen in the mix, and desperately trying to get this town centre up now, being fired on by the crossbowmen, but garrisoning side and forcing them away. Not a problem at all there. Crossbowmen, as usual though, important to note that they do have a longer range than the town centre, which means that they can sort of stand around and fire at villagers without being attacked by the town centre itself. So that's obviously useful to know. But Chris, still without really any army, and his economy is lacking behind. If we actually look at how much he's collecting, it doesn't seem like he's really collecting much at all. Whereas if we look at DauT, he's got a lot of gold, town centre's already up, and yeah, he's got quite a large army as well. Mangonel coming out for Chris, and more on the way. DauT Mangonel's of his own. Obviously going to try and break through this wall off with houses to try and get in range and take out more of DauT's villagers. And really now, micromanagement of the Mangonels is going to be extremely important. These guys are obviously going to be producing Mangonels at about the same rate, and they need to either tie each other, i.e., you know, one Mangonel kill one Mangonel, or in this case, DauT just managed to take out Chris's Mangonel, and obviously now Chris isn't going to want to lose Mangonels. He's just lost 2 to that 1, which means that DauT now has an advantage with the Mangonels. So these Mangonels are going to start pummeling away at this house, and Chris is going to have to do a bit of work to try and take out these Mangonels without losing his own. Almost losing a third one there. There we go, 3 down, and DauT's still with a Mangonel advantage. So Chris is not looking in a good position here. He's walled into his base. He's got DauT pummeling at his walls with Mangonels. More reinforcements coming up, and Chris doesn't really have an army at this stage, and it's kind of interesting why. But he's going to hang in there anyway. Population 98 to DauT and 71 to Chris. I'm pretty sure that's mainly due to the fact that the army count is much in favour of DauT. But regardless, Chris is not looking in a good position at the moment. He's hanging in there though. His wood is being harassed, so he's now moving down to this, and he's running out of wood by the looks of it as well. He's got a hell of a lot of villagers on wood right now, and he's having to get a castle up here, which is quite interesting. That's a very defensive castle, and DauT is actually building his own castle in his base. I'm curious to know why he's not building a forward castle. Maybe he's suspicious that Chris might have something hidden around his base and needs some extra defense. Perhaps that is the case, but nevertheless, Chris is also building a defensive castle here, and that's going to force DauT away for the time being, or at least away from this area. Quite a nice position on the castle as well, protecting 2 gold camps, possibly this one down here as well. So Chris going to be able to start collecting a bit more gold, which he's not been able to do for a while because of this harassment. Obviously, the main problem now, though, with building this castle is that it's going to force DauT to go around into another direction, and it looks like he's moved around here, and DauT is moving his Mangonels around at any rate, and that obviously means that DauT is going to try and break through these houses, which is leaving Chris completely unprotected in this direction because his castle's all the way over here. Plumed archers coming out for Chris though. DauT on his way to the Imperial Age right now, and that is surprising because DauT has obviously got the larger army count. He's been applying the most pressure, and at the same time he's also had the best economy so far. He's on his way to the Imperial Age, and Chris is nowhere near at this stage. He still needs another 800 food, and doesn't look like he's going to be getting to the Castle Age anytime soon. Sorry, Imperial Age. DauT moving in with with his Mangonel and his crossbowman, and Chris is going to have to take out this Mangonel because If he doesn't, then he's just going to get picked off. Managing to do so there. Now all these villagers in range of these crossbowmen, which is not pretty because they're going to get picked away at. 1, 2, 3 being killed, almost 4, and Chris losing a lot of men. And as you can see, DauT gaining even more of a score lead as he's taking out all of these villagers. This Mangonel, going to be able to do some damage at least, bringing villagers in to repair that, and that's always useful to know, you know. I always forget about that, but you can actually use your villagers to repair your siege weaponry, so obviously that's what Chris has done there, and that's helped him out to win that battle. If he didn't do that, he perhaps wouldn't have won. And Chris finally on his way to the Imperial Age. Another castle going up here for Chris then. Might be able to get that up if these crossbowmen don't realise. And DauT 127 population to 102. And DauT, important to note, is already in the Imperial Age. He's got his plumed archers out, and he's probably going to upgrade them to elite plumed archers fairly soon. Don't know whether he's doing that yet. Building some trebuchets actually, and DauT is really looking in a strong position right here. Another castle coming up now, and that's a forward castle for him. And this castle did go up for Chris down here, which is obviously going to help him secure this wood and this gold, because his wood in his main base has been harassed and it's not really looking like there's much substance left there at all. More stone being collected for Chris, and although Chris has walled himself into a little bit of a tight spot, DauT hasn't applied so much pressure to cripple Chris yet. Chris has still managed to keep his economy going and kind of regain some kind of confidence. Looking at his population though, he is still behind, and although he's just advanced to the Imperial Age, DauT has been there for a lot longer. DauT now with elite plumed archers, and that's obviously out-teching Chris's plumed archers over here, which are, there they are. So now we've got trebuchets firing upon this castle, and now I think Chris is going to struggle, because if this castle does go down, then Chris is going to be able to, DauT is going to be able to just walk into his base, take out most of his stone gold miners. You can tell it's the morning, I've not had any breakfast yet, I can't keep messing up with my words, but nevertheless, DauT is going to obviously keep pummeling away, and if he can take out this castle, then Chris is going to be in a tough situation. Chris with a couple of trebuchets of his own though, trying to take out these ones, but DauT bringing villagers up to bring the repairs to the trebuchets, and it doesn't look promising for Chris now, does it? The score lead says that DauT is way ahead. Chris with plumed archers somewhere, there they are. Plumed archers, but not elite plumed archers, which DauT is of course using. And Chris running fairly low on resources. His food isn't very high, but he does have plenty of gold and wood, which means he's able to queue up a fair amount of plumed archers for the time being. Taking out Chris's trebuchets there with battering rams, and this castle's still on its feet somehow. A lot of repairs by those villagers, but Chris has completely run out of stone, which of course means he's not going to be able to put any more repairs on there, and that DauT has taken it down. So now this is a big problem for Chris. DauT's obviously managed to take out this castle. Up here, DauT has put another 2 castles up, and Chris is in a really tough situation right now. Battering rams coming in. Elite plumed archers absolutely decimating Chris's plumed archers, and Chris just residing there because I don't think he really had anything he could do, unless he expanded out the back of his base, took a bit of extra gold, which wasn't really even the issue. It's just pure numbers that DauT was pressuring him with, and the trebuchets as well, just taking out town centres and castles. It wouldn't have surprised me if DauT would have been able to just come straight in and take out this castle as well, and 2 town centres over here. So DauT looking fairly strong that game. Chris with an early attack which didn't quite pay off, set him back in the long run, and DauT was able to just out macro him, and he was actually sending villagers over to this gold camp over here by the looks of it. So DauT being a bit of a monster there, taking up all the gold on the map, and really looked pretty strong that game. So what is that now? Is that 4-2 to DauT in this best of 21 series? That was game 6, and as usual, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.